how did Trixie and Katya's relationship become strained?
Literally, I was yesterday at her house and I said, I better go home since I have to see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's what kind of relationship we have.
Yeah.
What really happened on the day Katya walked off the set?
Wish Katya and I were still friends.
And have the two queens resolved their issues?
I know you want us to hug, but that's not really
That's not our vibe.
Hi, I'm Joy. Let's spill the tea. Birds of a feather.
There will be spoilers.
I got a surprise for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Crabs. I would have my legs uncrossed purposely because
Yeah.
I wanted to do this, but I didn't.
Because it's gay kid,
Yeah.
straight kid.
Firkus and Brian McCook, better known as their drag personas Trixie Mattel and Katya Zamolodchikova, have taken over the world with their larger-than-life personalities. But it definitely wasn't all peaches and cream for these two. Their epic friendship started after the duo were eliminated from the 7th season of RuPaul's Drag Race.
The only way I can get to rehearse with Katya is if I come meet her somewhere she can smoke.
Yep. I'm the Laura Ingalls Wilder drag. Who smokes?
The girl's gone Laura Ingalls Wilder.
And even though they didn't win, the pair realized just how much they had in common, but only after they left the show. Yes, that's right. In fact, when Katya and Trixie first met, they didn't actually get along. Trixie even describes their first impressions of one another as tepid, barely a boil, a simmer that slowly rose to heat. They soon discovered that they weren't typical drag queens, had a similar sense of humor, and a love for money.
Who is Katya Zamolodchikova?
Who is she?
Who is she?
I think it's probably easier to say who isn't she.
Their first gig together was a humorous take on a fashion photo shoot review. They clicked. It worked. And the rest is history. This bestie relationship spelled fame and fortune that started with a YouTube series, which led to multiple shows, a book, a podcast, and so much more. Can you say wow? With their series, The Trixie and Katya Show, they became the first drag queens to host a TV show since RuPaul. Talk about history making. They're practically unstoppable, but working together so much can lead to some bumps in the road. So what is all the drama that happened between them? Epic meltdowns and fallen friends.
I love you.
Thanks.
Okay, that hurt. That's worse.
Try it again. Wait, really good. Yeah.
Okay. I love you.
Me too.
You love yourself too?
Yeah.
In 2017, Trixie and Katya became viral internet stars and took to TV screens with their very own American comedy show. But in the middle of their first season, Katya disappeared. Having a long history with substance abuse, her addiction took an extreme toll on her, and she found herself relapsing. Stay tuned to find out all the details.
Today I'm interviewing somebody close to my heart, close to your heart, and close to being arrested. Katya!
As you can imagine, Trixie was devastated, but like they say, the show must go on. Bob the drag queen stepped in and finished off the season with Trixie.
Okay, do you lie?
Well, it's like sometimes you lie for the right reasons. If someone's like, can I have a hug?
No.
And I go, yes, I like hugs. But internally, I'm like, when you hug me, it feels like you're taking a knife and cutting me.
After the incident and the end of the show, it seemed that Trixie and Katya were not on speaking terms. Was their friendship really over? What exactly happened? In 2019, a documentary was released called Trixie Mattel, Moving Parts, where Trixie and Katya lay it all bare for the world to see. Everything from the struggles and pressures of performing and touring, the ups and downs of their friendship, and even an epic meltdown.
I actually thought the judges telling you to go home hurts really bad, but having the people you're here with, who you just ate lunch with, on a lip sync with your name on it,
The idea was to capture every moment of Trixie's life from before, during, and after winning RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars 3 in 2017. Trixie was doing very well for herself at the time, having just recorded 2 albums and making waves as a successful musician.
There's 23 hours of the day where you're not in drag, and it is not all champagne and runways, and this movie is definitely that.
But it wasn't the same experience of Katya. She could no longer function and wanted out of the Trixie and Katya show. Behind the scenes, she was fighting her own demons.
I couldn't sleep. I'm angry. I'm feeling anger. I never feel anger. Hardly ever. I'm not an angry person.
What was unexpected and ultimately caught on camera was Katya's breakdown on her worst mental health day ever. It seems Katya's relapse led her to experience what she described as a complete break from reality.
You know, I had no problem with addiction stuff when I was
doing Ashtanga yoga every day for 2 hours in the morning and then had a very small, manageable life.
Trixie tried to reason with her and to understand what was going on, but Katya was exceptionally paranoid and felt that she couldn't trust anyone. She ended up saying some things that she could never take back and walked off the show. It was a heartbreaking moment for Trixie, who was unsure if she could go on with the show after Katya left, and she didn't know if that's what a good friend would do. She eventually had to find the strength to go on by herself, and not as Katya and Trixie like the show was previously advertised. What about Katya? Her spiral continued. She unfollowed Trixie on Instagram, which shocked fans the world over.
Mama, when you don't see me, that's when you should be worried.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because she's down in the basement in a wheelbarrow, like, that's the actual reality of like a real drug addict,
She was then evicted from her home in Los Angeles for causing numerous disturbances, and then moved back home to Massachusetts. It got so bad that someone close to her almost filed a restraining order against her. This is when she knew she'd hit rock bottom and needed to get help. She checked herself into Serenity Care Rehab Center, taking a break from drag. Many fans were unsure if they would ever see Katya again. Friend or foe?
You want to do this? It's
Yes,
kind
I
of fun.
surely do. Take 1, Red Scare hot sticks. Soft sticks. Soft sticks.
Ow!
A year later, Katya began putting her life back together. She reached out to Trixie, and the two have seemed to have resolved all their issues, reuniting both on screen and in reality.
Hi everybody, I'm Katya and I'm here with the sister I never wanted, the mother I never had, and the business partner I probably should tolerate. Trixie Mattel!
After the incident, Katya admitted to missing Trixie very much. She apologized for putting her through the ringer during her breakdown and for all the nasty things that she said. Even though there was a lot going on, Trixie was very patient with Katya, stood by her, and told her that she would be there for her when all of this was over. With Katya's permission, Trixie decided to keep the incident a part of the documentary. She admits that it was really uncomfortable for both of them to watch, and they would never want to relive it again, but felt it was very important that when an audience was viewing the film, that they felt like they were also in the room.
What was important to both of us was we watched it and we were like, okay, this is deeply uncomfortable, but it does look and feel exactly like it felt in the room, which was nobody was angry or sad. It was just two friends at work going like, what do we do?
Recently, Katya did an interview with the Shut Up Evan podcast and talked about her current relationship with Trixie and how much it's changed since the Trixie and Katya show.
Yeah, she's great though, and so we have a unique kind of friendship because there aren't many situations in life like Drag Race. So, it's like we're like our, war veteran sisters or whatever. That's a little strong, but you know what I mean.
She admits that Trixie taught her the power of forgiveness, as she doesn't know what she would have done had the roles been reversed. A true testament to their friendship and a heartbreaking scene in the documentary is when she says, "I didn't like being on my own as much as I liked being friends with her. It was never about getting famous enough so that you can survive on your own. I preferred surviving with her." Aww. Every friendship has its ups and downs, but these two have found that they're better together. They are moving on and upward. In 2019, the two signed a deal with Netflix for an original American web series called I Like to Watch. It's basically a fun review of all the best shows on Netflix and what these two queens think about them. It's pretty hilarious and definitely worth a watch. What about their relationship outside of the show business? Well, it turns out the pair don't hang out much in real life.
This is the perfect example of a text I received from Trixie. So I haven't heard from her maybe a day. And then it said, "Can I ask you something important?" First thing is like, okay, accountability, I need to be accountable for my actions, okay. And I said, shoot. And she said, "Should I be doing porn?" With a picture of herself, looking great. Did I really? Yes!
Trixie and Katya both admit to being loners and prefer their friendship this way, but they do call one another every day and FaceTime a lot.
Loving you as a friend is pretty easy.
Okay.
You're a very lovable person.
Okay.
Haven't you noticed that everybody who meets you loves you?
That's true.
As of right now, there's no drama between the two, with Katya saying, "I think we've been through worse. I think the worst is behind us."
Well, it takes a lot of distance to make this relationship good. Do you know what I mean? The key is that we don't see each other a lot.
We don't ever see each other.
No.
So every time we film an episode, it's the first time we've seen each other in months, maybe.
And this includes lockdown. The pair made the most of a bad situation and turned their homes into high-tech, high-quality studios so that they could keep filming. And there is hope that they may tour together for the first time in the near future. COVID has taken its toll, and they've both admitted that they need to get back into the groove of live shows first. So, you never know. Keep your eyes peeled. And in more exciting news, the dynamic duo released a New York Times bestseller in July 2020 called Trixie and Katya's Guide to Modern Womanhood. What's it about? The fabulous twosome share all their secrets of feminine mystique in a comic take on beauty and homemaking.
We are very do as we say, not as we do, because as I say in the first chapter, we've made all the mistakes you've made in your life, and we've done it like with lashes on with puke on our shoes.
Sounds absolutely fabulous, don't you think? Want to know more about your favorite besties Katya and Trixie? Check out our other videos. Subscribe and stay tuned.